Okay, let's take a look at Tesla stock. I haven't looked at it in a little while. I drew this line today. Looks like a potential resistance downtrend line that it rejected now for the third time. And you could see 1, 2, 3, basically, and then this time too. So it's testing this area several times and rejecting. And that's why I'm able to draw a trend line, because it touches the same point several times in a row and doesn't pass it. So it had this double bottom on the weekly, and then it set a little bit of a higher low on the weekly and a higher high, but it's not a clear enough higher low. It was just a little bit of consolidation. The daily trend was looking pretty good. It double bottomed off of that point, big rebound, gap right there. You see this gap, retested it, didn't get filled, didn't fill the gap. Bounced off of that area, set that higher low, consolidated in this equilibrium, then broke out of the equilibrium, little bit of a bull flag here, gapped up multiple times, consolidated the last couple weeks, and it broke bullish first, was a fake out, big upper wicket profit taking, and then there was a bearish break today on Tesla. And you can see it trapped a lot of this volume in the red, and it filled this gap, showing some weakness. So Tesla stock is showing some weakness now. I don't see an immense amount of red flags at the moment. There is some red flags. Okay. If anyone knows me, they know I'm not very bullish on this stock. Okay. And the reason why is just automakers in general. And I'll make my case very quick and simple. You know, automakers in general, and I know everybody can argue Tesla's not just an automaker and whatnot. I'm not going to get into that. Automakers in general have a lot of expenses because steel, materials, copper, lithium, okay, then they got transportation, then they got factory workers, and then they got salespeople, and then they got warranties, and then they got recalls, and then they got, doing all the testing and stuff for their vehicles. These production lines that constantly need to be upgraded, okay. So many more things. Showrooms. So many more things. Their expenses are so high, and that's why I'm not very bullish on automaker stocks, because their expenses are so high, so their profit margins are very low, and that's with pretty much every automaker. To my knowledge, Toyota has the best profit margins out of all the automakers. Anyways, we won't get into that further. We'll look at the chart. I don't see an immense amount of red flags. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not bullish on the stock, but that's a bias. At the end of the day, got to follow the chart. So take a look at the chart, and chart's looking pretty good. Okay. Is this the potential pattern that we're looking at? You could see if we were to pull back and test this area again and then bounce again, that would be very interesting if it did that. And it might need to do that before it goes anywhere. And I'm not saying it's going to do that, but it might need to do that because ultimately, at least in my opinion, the stock is quite a bit overpriced based on their current financials. So if it were to stay in this pattern, which would take another, not even that long, 3 months, 4 months to get right to the end of this triangle, not even 2 months. Wow, it's July already. 2 plus 3 months to get to the end of this triangle. That would give the company financials a little bit more time, not much more time, to catch up to their valuation. And it would prepare it for a larger move to the upside if it were to break upwards. If it were to break upwards, obviously there's a potential that it breaks downwards. Okay? But in the short term, bulls are going to try to make this drop stop here. But it did consolidate for several weeks. Big volume spike at the high, fake out to the upside, and then it broke bearish, and it closed below the support level. So there is some bearish signs in the short term. I wouldn't be surprised we get a bit of a rebound tomorrow, but I don't think we're going to get much of a rebound because that 100-day moving average is in the way at 664. So I would think it's probably going to top out around 664 to 667 or so tomorrow. That will also be where the red line is, and kind of trade within a range between 667 or so and today's low or slightly lower. I would think that's what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not going to say that's going to happen. That's what I think what would happen. Anyways, in my opinion, this company's financials need to catch up to the price of the stock. And they're still got to build out a lot of factories. They still got to do a lot of things. They're still got to increase their sales. And now with all of the amount that they're investing and with the recent dilution and debt that they raised and stuff like that, it might take a little bit of time for them to really start profiting again. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the negatives again. But, I mean, listen, I'm not a financial expert, fundamental expert where I know everything's going to happen with this company. I have no idea. But in my thought, because of all the investment that they're doing, that's going to put them into the negatives. Not their gross margin. Their gross margin should be positive, but their actually net cash outflow, might be negative because of all the amount that they're spending on all this investment, which should hopefully pay off in the future for the company. Now, looking back to NVIDIA, and I just did a video on NVIDIA, obviously Tesla's actually in the chip game somewhat themselves, but I think they just design them. I don't think they actually make them. I think they employ either Foxconn or NVIDIA or AMD or someone else. I think it's NVIDIA to make the chips for them. Another reason why NVIDIA stock is so high, I think NVIDIA market cap is around very similar to Tesla's market cap. Let's take a look. Tesla's market cap, 635 billion. NVIDIA, 515 billion. NVIDIA's catching up. Tesla's got a PE ratio of 680 though. And NVIDIA is considered an overvalued stock. Like, it's not a stock Warren Buffett's going to buy. Let's just put it that way. I'm not saying it's overpriced or whatever. I'm just saying on paper it's considered overvalued in terms of someone like Warren Buffett's metrics, I think. But if that's considered overvalued, I mean, imagine Tesla, which is 7 times as much PE ratio as NVIDIA. And Warren Buffett, he's on tape saying, and someone asked him, will you buy Tesla stock? He's like, no. Just simple, no. Not buying Tesla stock. Okay? Anyways, I'm not saying you should buy, you shouldn't buy. I was very bearish on this stock before. I do recognize that there could be some potential in the future. I think as of now, I still stick on the bearish camp. And, that's all I'm going to say there. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see what happens in the future. If this pattern goes to the end and hits down here, and then it breaks bullish, I might buy some Tesla myself. If I were to see that happen, because that would be a serious bullish wedge. So if I were to see that happen, I might buy some Tesla myself. 10 bagger, buy some Tesla stock. If I were to see that happen, that would be very interesting to me. So we'll take a look. But as of now, if it were to break out over here, I wouldn't be as interested. I would want the pattern to form. The longer the pattern takes to form, the stronger the move would be when the pattern breaks out. And this can coil up like a spring. Just coiling up like a spring, preparing for that breakout move to the upside. That's all I'm going to leave it at today. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Check out the course if you want to learn more. And wait till September, because if I drop a subscription service, it is going to be the most comprehensive, best stock subscription service that there is. That's what I intend. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.